Oh, my audio is very low there. I forgot to check that. So 2288, good luck. So we have played before, we drew that game. Let's go G3. It could have been in any time control we could have played there. I'm just going to prepare the castle, then challenge for the centre. Okay, pushes forward. I think D4 is a good principled move here, actually, just to challenge for the centre before my opponent completely dominates it. Let's take with a knight. Do we want to do this and give him this structure? It breaks symmetry, doesn't it? Although we're moving the knight an awful lot in the opening before we've castled. What do I want to do? I'm just looking at the pawn push as well, but I think I'll just take and castle. See how aggressive he wants to play this. Develops. I want to push the pawn here, so I'm looking at knight up first. I'm going to do that. I'll hold these pawns back and I'm going to prepare e4. So I'm just going to play it. Okay, well that allows me to take. I could push, I guess, but I think I should take and just develop the bishop. And now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with these. Okay, so he's hit the rook. That's quite common in a lot of these lines. I guess we have to come across. Watch out for this pawn. I'd rather trade bishop for bishop than knight. Is there any trick though? Take, take, take. Here you just go knight takes. I don't see any tricks. I'm actually going to drop the bishop back and hit the queen and see where she lines up. Probably attack the pawn, I would guess. But once I push, everything then gets very weak. So what do? I might have to play rook across. Oh, bishop goes back though. I'm happy to trade that. So we might have knight across here. If knight takes, bishop takes. So knight across is a nice move and we can trade the knight and then we can protect our pawns a little bit easier, I think. Is there a tactic though? Bishop takes, queen down. We'll have to move the bishop somewhere, say back, and the pawn is going to fall. So knight in. If takes, we could go with the rook instead of the bishop. And then we cover queen here. I guess you've still got here though. Maybe we've got rook across, I don't know. It looks like a nice tactic, but these pawns are loose. So knight across, take, bishop take, queen to either square. You hit the pawn, but the bishop's under attack as well. We could drop back. Bishop takes, takes, queen takes, pawn. I don't think it quite works, does it? Let's just play a slow holding move then. Maybe rook across. Okay, played queen back, getting out of the line of fire. I'm going to play rook right across then and prepare to move my knight. Yeah, so knight in now is not a move because the queen has moved. Goes across to hit the pawn. So I've just completely wasted a move there. Why did I do that? I have to go back. Complete waste of time there, giving my opponent a free development move. So clearly I'm not playing too sharply here. Bishop back, you're probably fine to trade, but you might just drop back anywhere. So that could be a waste as well. I'd love to trade the knight, I'd love to get the queen forward, I don't quite see how. But as soon as this pawn moves anywhere, these two are really weak. Yeah, goes across, logical. I guess queen up could be a move then. Anything better? I don't see it, but I'm down a long way on the clock. I'm going quite slow at the start, so got to pay attention to the clock. I don't really think h4, h5 is going to do much after black counters. Oh, offers a trade. No, I'm quite happy playing endgames with anyone and everyone. So, any reason not to take there? Take here, but how the heck do I unwind this? I just don't see. I might need queen across then. I don't think I can afford to trade there. It feels like I'm struggling to unwind the position without collapsing and losing a load of pawns. Maybe it's the best thing to do, and I'm quite happy playing endgames normally. But this position, it feels like it's a bit more of a struggle. Yeah, these pawns are not in a good position. I might have to play this rook here as well, and that's not good, is it? So do I take now? But again, how on earth do I move any of these? I can't, can I? Now let's just come back. I'm confident my opponent won't repeat because they've got that better setup, that better position, so I'm safe to come back here. Oh, it offers to trade that way this time, so is that any better? If you take with a pawn, I could come across and move my knight, that's fine. So if you take with the rook, I've got knight over as a tempo to attack the rook, and then I can push my pawn. That might be playable, even though the knight's potentially getting trapped. Or I could just bail out and go this way. No, I think I'm going to have to trade. I don't see anything good happening here. It's whether I play knight across or rook straight over. I like knight across with a view to pawn up, but then my knight is actually potentially just plain trapped. Actually, what about bishop back now? Bishop back now seems a move. If bishop back, then my knight's a little bit easier to move. Maybe rook c1. Or does trade. Now at some point this could happen, but right now they're guarded. But I think I need rook across. And then try and just secure my pawns. Very difficult to figure it out. f3 could be a move because of these awkward knight jumps, but once the pawn goes forward, it's not coming back. There's no reverse gear. But yeah, if I could just get the knight on a safe square and get maybe c3 in, it then releases the rooks potentially. But right now, black's got a relatively free hand. You just have to figure out the plan. Oh, I should get the cursor off the board there so there's no accidental mouse slips. It does happen. Knight e4, I think I just simply take and we trade the d pawn and the c pawn, but that would take all the pressure off, so I think I'd be happy to trade there. So I don't think we'll see that. But yeah, rook to c1 is all I can really otherwise think of. Yeah, he's played a kind of holding move, so f3 could be a move then, just to cut these out. But rook across, and I can then shift my knight potentially. I don't want to burn all my time. Now, knight in might be a move now for black, but it takes some pressure off these pawns, so the knight is potentially movable now. But again, I might need f3 first. I wonder if he actually had d4 there, the move before, possibly. Might have been good. It might have just been a pawn. I had knight across. Takes, rook takes, but then this falls as well. Not an easy position, is it? I've not done the opening too brilliantly. But hopefully I can drop the knight back this way now at some point, and then try and just cement my pawns and then get the rooks into the game. So f3 tries to deal with this. Okay, he's forced the issue there, so he might want to go back here, but that might give me development moves, right? I don't have to think about that move. What about f4 though? Is that too bold? Knight in here. King up, that's covered. Check across. That looks fine, but I've just got king up as well, right? He's got knight down, that's the problem. So knight down is a bit of a problem, so maybe I need to move my knight first. Well, then b3, but then you just go here, I guess. So knight across, I guess you go here. Pawn up, but then my knight is just stuck, but what else can I do? I could maybe drop the knight back here. Down, up, but then I'll lose this one anyway. No, I'm going to have to go here. Yeah, he's figured out a good plan here, and I don't think I can do much about it. Oh, he's just gone to hit the knight, but now I can go here, right? Oh, then he wants to come back, and then here maybe. Well, I think I have to go here. But it stops this move now. And now I can play c3 maybe, but I guess it gives you knight to d3. I'm assuming here. When I'm looking at c3. Not convincingly though. Knight in, rook up. Once the rooks get disconnected, there's always a threat to the knight, but he's played it. Now, I could go here. Now, is there a trick there? There is. I can't take back, so it's not a move, so I have to go here. My position's very close to being a struggle to being really bad. King up if I can. The opponent's played it really well so far. If I can just unwind the position though and activate the rooks like my opponent has done, it makes the game easy to play. It doesn't mean I still have any chance, but it's obviously easier if you can activate your pieces. But king up is a logical move for me next because I don't have many moves to look at. Knight in. Maybe I can just play rook across and attack the knight because you're not going to take here right now. So knight in just simply across. He's played knight that way. So what if I go here? There's no knight check. But there's a knight check here. And if I take, you still take here. So here, you've got this move. But I don't have to take. That's the thing. So I can just play king up here, right? Or even here. Yeah, let's just bring the king forward. Oh, he's gone back over. Again, that took me by surprise, so oh, that's the target then. So do I allow him to take this? No, I've got to go here. Okay. Now what about king up or here? Not possible to defend everything, is it? So I might have to just sack a pawn. I think I do. I'm going to push the pawn and sack. So do I get a rook off? I don't think that does anything. So I'm going to push, but now he can just march down the board and it's very difficult and very difficult. I can't go here, I'll lose this one. King up, I guess you can just go f5. I do have knight here if the knight wanders off and then the pawn's a target. So I need to kick this knight, but how? King up, f5 here, I just lose this. And I'm spending moves to try and get this danger pawn. So my only real chance here now is to try and be quicker than my opponent and put pressure on the clock. It's my only chance, but we're very evenly balanced right now. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? I might have to play g4 first, I think, to prepare f3. I'm looking at that. g4, I guess you can challenge it, but at least f3 I don't lose a pawn in one move. So I'm looking at g4 as a candidate move, then f3. But obviously if you push down here, that's a problem. That's what he's gone for. So I'll have to go for this. Again, I might have to just simply sack another pawn here and hope I can barricade it, but all my pawns are just going to disappear from the board quickly. Down, I'll have to go up. Oh, he's got knight in. That's a move I didn't consider. Yeah, he's played it perfectly, hasn't he? Here, just knight in. Just found every move. Played this amazingly well, astonishingly well. I mean, I've got knight across now, but now this has to be over, doesn't it? Yeah, he's just completely outplayed me. He played a different level completely here. I mean, he couldn't have played any better game if he tried, could he? He's just played literally a perfect game. So, I'm not sure there's any point playing this one. Should I play the game out? Let's play it on just because there's not too much time on the clock, but I'm not sure there's any point here. Yeah, he's found in every single move. You couldn't play it any better if you tried. Literally a perfect game. No, I'm not going to bother playing it on. Complete waste of time. There's some players you just can't compete with, so let's just get this game over with. I'll still put it through the engine just to see how he played it, but it's pretty much perfect, isn't it? So 38 moves. They're the move times for both players there. Using practically no time as well, all through the early phase. So let's just see what it was in engine language, but it's just one of them games I just simply couldn't compete with. No chance whatsoever. Yeah, I've played 89% versus 95% accuracy, CPL 30 against 14. To be fair, there are two moves that were not the top engine moves that my opponent managed to play. So there were moves, what? 19 and 5. Only two moves that are not the top stockfish moves there. 19 and 5. So let's just see what should have been here. Should have played e5 instead of knight to c6. And then we can whiz along to move 19. To be fair, I've not played a lot of mistakes I myself. I've just been completely outplayed, even though I haven't played any sloppy bad blunders. It's one of them perfect games that my opponents played that I just couldn't do anything about. Oh, and move 19 I wanted to look at, didn't I? So queen a4, I should have gone back to d2. And he should have gone to b6 instead of c6, and that's it. That's the only other minor inaccuracy for my opponent. Oh, that's just a perfect game, nothing you can do. So well done.